Step number two is research. Researching the current state. Yesterday, Dr. Tariq mentioned also the importance of researching the current state. You want to know what's happening now. You don't want to do something others started. You don't want to waste your money, your effort, your time, others' time, or even you don't want to come up with something some other people already done before you. So, now, if you want to start with researching a topic, what's the first thing that you will do? Normal person will go to Google, will go to Yahoo, to Bing. Some other people, they will go and search in Facebook search engine. Some other, they will use the Twitter search engine. I know successful stories about the Twitter search engine and Facebook, but where do we start? There are so many websites, so many search engines, so many portals. Where we can start? How to start? And what to use? It's just seems to be confusing overloads. Very confusing. And why do we need better web research skills? Personally, I believe that the information age is over now. Now we are in data intelligence aggregation age. What do I mean by that? Years ago, the information age started by reducing knowledge. Websites around us started to pop up. Every company has a website. A lot of portals available now. Every day, billions and billions of pages published. But we need some sort of method to aggregate this data to find what we want to find. Well, probably one example will be WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks, what they have done, they just published information wasn't available to other people through their websites to be more accessible to the normal user. Unfortunately, it is not the good source, but it is the same philosophy, the same thing. Making information available to others in a very simple format and accessible to everybody. Probably I need to mention also the statistics of Google. Google said every day around 25% of their searches is for a new search terms. So every day, 25% of users for search terms is for new things, never been searched before. So this is another indicator that we are on an intelligence age. Everybody is looking for more information, new methods, how to find it from everywhere. So if you are doing a lot of web research, you will encounter some of these, at least these problems. Duplicate content, old content, mix up, and reliability of information. Duplicate content, what I mean is that you will find like 100 websites with the same content. Sometimes they look a little bit clever and they just rephrase the words, but it's the same content. At the end, you will spend your day looking for the same information, reading the same information, reading hundreds of websites, but there's nothing new, it's the same content. Old content is also an issue. Take for example when you want to search about the ISO standard. You are interested in the latest one, but all what you find is about the old one. It's the same for the other tools, the other case studies. So it's an issue, the age of the data. The mix-up, this is also an issue. Sometimes one term used differently. Take for example the term benchmarking. When you write benchmarking down, you will find the IT people, they use this term to compare the performance of a certain application, certain hardware, so they use this term. So sometimes you're searching for benchmarking, but you end up with an IT website with weird information, weird numbers. So this is also an issue. At the end, the reliability of information. How do you know this information is correct? It's not made up. How do you know how reliable it is? Can you just use it as it is? So in my presentation, I will introduce some set of tools, some websites, some portals that will make your life much easier when searching for information. So that before doing any project, or before starting any benchmarking project, you can navigate your way, you can find some good information, good quality information. The first website that I would like to use, before starting that, I will use some weird term. Personally, I don't know much about it, which is scenario planning technique. Typically, if your boss, for example, in the morning and told you that, okay, we want to do a scenario planning project, go and find some information about it. And in 5 seconds, you will go to Google and you will write scenario planning. And what will appear to you? Typically, the first page will be a Wikipedia page, and then maybe some books from Amazon, some pictures. If you are a little bit lucky, you will find some clips from YouTube. And then a company name, maybe scenario planning, will come at the end. And then that's it. You will be like, okay, you will be a little bit struggle and just say scenario planning, quotation mark, for example, plus best practices. And another thing will come up. And that's it. You will spend your day looking for information here and there without a right direction. So, what to do? Well, personally, I start with Google Wheel of Wonder, or Wonder Wheel. And what's this? It is a new feature in Google. It is, maybe nobody noticed it before. I bet that. What this Wonder Wheel will do, it will give you some examples associated with your term. For example, if we are searching for scenario planning, it will give you an examples and other words that associated with your work. Let's go to the real example. When I searched for scenario planning, I came up with scenario planning strategy, scenario planning examples, scenario planning shell. There is two examples here, or two results, which is very interesting, seems very interesting. What's the relation between scenario planning and Wharton, which is absence of school? What is the relation between scenario planning and shell? So this might be a good starting point. You can dig further here and see what's the real relation between the scenario planning and shell. Are they good performers? Do they have some good results? You need to check that. And also, what's with the Wharton School? Do they have some publication? Do they have some division or anything? Why? It is just an example that will give you an idea, give you a direction where to go, instead of just shooting in the dark. The other tool, the second tool, is also by Google. It is called Google Trends. It is very important to know your topic and how it is, when it started, is it popular now, when it was popular, and what happened to make it popular. For example, for scenario planning, you notice here there are a few peaks. The first one is scenario planning as a total for success. This is from a newspaper, so it's worth going and checking that. It also will give you the regions. This term is highly searched in South Africa. So are they good in scenario planning? What about Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, India? And then languages. It used mostly Korean language, Indonesia, English. So this also will give you some indicators, some path to go and check. It's not necessarily that you go and check everything, but that will give you some light, will guide you how to go, where to go. This is a very good tool to know the major events associated with your term. For example, if you check the Cosmoda website, you will find a very high peak at the beginning of this year. This is when they published their report about the new iPhone. So in our case, in this case, scenario planning, you might go and check these newspapers articles and see what they are about. Is it like an award? Is it like a disaster? Is it something happening in this term? So this is a very, very useful tool also. The third one is how to find a new content, which is, I would say, it is a very, very hard issue. How to know this content is a new or an old, especially for a term without any distinction. For example, for ISO, you will search ISO and year. But for benchmarking, for example, or scenario planning, how to find a new content. This website, or this portal, which is a new portal, doesn't use the algorithm of Google or Bing or Yahoo. They use their own algorithm. They will show you results up to 14 days. So if you want a fresh content, just published a few days ago, you might be interested in an event, for example, the Bollinger Awards. You want to know who wrote about the Bollinger Awards in the last 14 days, the EFM Awards, or anything like that. This is the website you should use. For example, here, there is something written about scenario planning on the 1st of December, getting ahead of the curve in the world escaping crisis. The good thing about this website, it will search on every written text, not only the newspapers, not only the websites, but any text. Lastly, we'll be focusing on the topic. Lastly, the websites, not focusing on a topic. On my earlier example on benchmarking, how do you know this website is talking about IT or management? It is very hard. You have to go and read. You have to go and check by yourself. But there's no way that you will find it before going. But this tool will make it easy for you and will give you this in advance. So for example, in scenario planning, there are some results on management. This might be your interest. Some of them on consultants, some of them on area studies. So even if you try a benchmarking, that will give you the variation of the sources, which eliminate the sources that you don't want. If you are searching on a term that widely used or widely public in others, or even you want some results from a specific sector only. So this is one of a very good tools that I recommend. Now, the last tool is the ppir.com, which I call the ultimate benchmarking resource. It is not a free resource, although there are some part of it they are free. You can access it for free. It is paid resource. First part, which is the free part, it is the management brief. Every month, if you subscribe in the newsletter, you will receive the management brief. The management brief is a short report, like 18 to 20 pages, about the hot issue, the current hot issue. So, for example, the current issue is workplace wellness. So it is an issue now. You can go through it, you can download